The Boston Celtics won their first game in the second round of the NBA playoffs on the road at Madison Square Garden yesterday over the New York Knicks, 115-93. New York leads the series 2-1 with Game 4 at MSG tomorrow night at 7:30. The Minnesota Timberwolves took a 2-1 series lead after their 102-97 win over the Golden State Warriors last night. Minnesota will look to go up 3-1 tomorrow night at 10. The Cleveland Cavaliers will look to even their series at 2 games apiece tonight against the Indiana Pacers at 8 p.m. The Cincinnati Reds defeated the Houston Astros 13-9 yesterday. Cincinnati scored 10 runs in the first inning for the first time since 1989. The two teams will meet again today at 2:10. And the Cleveland Guardians lost to the Philadelphia Phillies 7-1 yesterday, and the two sides will face off again today at 7 p.m. And the Columbus Crew tied the Philadelphia Union 2-2 in a battle between two of the top teams in the MLS.
From ONN, this is Hollywood Casinos On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Here are your hosts, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Welcome to On the Money. I am Dave Biddle, joined by Scotty Vegas, producer Cam Taylor at the controls. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Scotty Vegas, how you doing this morning, my friend?
I'm good, and I know that you're feeling great this morning because of that Reds performance yesterday. First inning magic. I mean, it was unbelievable. I'm kind of following along on my phone, and I just keep getting updates, and 10 runs in the first inning, Dave. But how about this? Every Reds player reached base in the first inning, which is absolutely amazing. And the total on the game, of course, that's the first thing I looked at, was 8 runs. Well, if you took the over, it was over very early in that first inning.
Yeah, that was fun. And then they did their best to try and blow it. They got up then 12-1, and then before you knew it, it was 12-7. I'm like, oh, here we go. But they ended up winning 12-7. All right, so a lot to get into on today's show. We're going to talk some Cleveland Cavs. Yes, they are still the favorite to win their series against the Pacers. They will play the Pacers today at 3:30 in Indianapolis, and the Cavs are favored by 5.5 points. So huge win the other day. You know, now they're healthy, at least healthier. They're not missing 3 of their top players, which can hinder a team, but I still think the Cavs are going to win this series. Winning Game 3 was absolutely massive.
So it's funny, Dave, because we had this debate in the office, I believe it was Friday afternoon, and we were talking about, because at that point you had the Cavs were down 2-0, and the Celtics were down 2-0. And so really the in-office debate was, okay, these were 2 huge favorites going into the series, and do we think that 0, 1, or 2 will come back from down 2-0? And initially my thought was, well, gosh, the Cavs are so banged up. They're going on the road now to Indiana. So my thought was, okay, I think that one of the 2 will come back from down 2-0. Now I believe both. I think the Cavs and Celtics will ultimately win the series. But Friday, I did have a little bit of doubt, and then the Cavs looked awesome.
How you feeling about the Nuggets? I don't think this is I don't even think it's that huge of an upset. Can we keep in mind they have arguably the best player on the planet? When did they win the title? Was it 10 years? Oh, it was 2 years ago with pretty much the same team. Listen, I know the Thunder had first of all, they're a great team. I get that. But the Nuggets are for real now. They're up 2-1 on the series. Now, who knows? I would still bet, and the Thunder are still the betting favorites. I would still bet if I had to that the Thunder are going to win the series, but, man, I wouldn't want to bet a lot on that. And I did put a long shot bet heading into this series. I'll have to look up exactly what it was on the Nuggets to win the series. So I'm liking that so far. I'm going to let it ride. I'm not going to cash out. So, listen, the Nuggets, their issue is they have no depth at all. They basically go 6 deep. Westbrook is really their 6th man. They also have Watson as kind of their 7th guy, and then they have nobody else. Whereas the Thunder are loaded with starters, and they have depth. So, but the Nuggets are interesting to me, man, because nobody gave them a shot. It's 2 years ago they won the title. They still have Jokic, they still have Murray, they still have Gordon, they still have Porter. The problem is they don't have any depth.
You know, the amazing thing to me, Dave, is just how great these NBA playoffs have been. And I got to say that, generally, I don't watch much NBA during the regular season. Now, occasionally I'll throw on a couple games just because all right, I'll put a little action that night, nothing else going on. Let me throw a little NBA action into the betting world. But I will tell you, these NBA playoffs have been nearly must watch. Like, it has been fantastic. There's been crazy comebacks. There's been great games. Now you've seen some major upsets. Let's see if that continues. But so far, for me, this is the first time in quite a while that I am kind of locked into just about every single NBA playoff game. Now, am I watching them from start to finish like I do college basketball and other sports like that? No, but I'm way more locked in than I have been in probably a decade to these NBA playoffs.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. NHL playoffs are really good as well right now. And by the way, you guys can follow along on our YouTube page, 971 The Fan YouTube page. You can send your questions, comments to us in our live chat. So follow along, 971 The Fan, the live stream on YouTube. Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this, because maybe part of the reason why that I'm so into the NBA playoffs more than I have been in the past several years is the betting aspect, right? Because yes, we could bet previously, but it is so much fun, game by game, Dave, to put together these player prop parlays. Like, we do it obviously in the NFL, and that's a good time. And we used to do it in college when you used to be able to do player props with college basketball and college football. But for me, the NBA player props, especially in the playoffs, are a lot of fun because in the regular season, you always wonder, okay, how much do they care? Right?
Jonte Porter could enter the chat.
Yeah, but game in and game out, it was like, during the regular season, you'd have so many games that were blowouts where you have guys that aren't even playing in the fourth quarter that have to meet some specific numbers. But now that we're into the playoffs, everybody cares, everybody's paying attention, and they're generally playing throughout the entire game more minutes. So it's easier to kind of hit those player props. But for me, that's a big reason why I've had so much fun with these NBA playoffs is I like putting together those parlays, maybe 4 or 5 things in them. And again, it's just made it more entertaining.
The parlays, I had a lucky week. The parlays I've been doing maybe 2 NHL games and 2 NBA games, and just picking. Yeah. Usually, I nailed 2 of them this week, where I had picked 3 favorites and 1 underdog. One of the underdogs was the Nuggets. And then I had 3 favorites winning. But it's funny going across sports and play, because you mentioned in playoffs, everybody cares. Yeah. I will say in the NHL, I feel like NHL guys care every night. Where NBA is a little different. This is I just can't get into the NBA regular season. I used to love it as a kid, NBA Inside Stuff. Remember that?
Oh yeah, Ahmad Rashad.
Yeah, exactly. And Willow Bay. I almost forgot her name. Willow Bay. And Ahmad Rashad. Oh yeah. So I used to love I've always loved the NBA playoffs. I used to love the NBA regular season. I still follow along. I'll look up a team's their stats and stuff like that. Maybe I'll follow. I don't even think I sat down and watched even a half of a entire NBA game this year. Although I'm not a Cavs fan, but I've never disliked them, if that makes sense. I grew up a Bulls fan. It's hard to be a Bulls fan these days. But especially when LeBron came back and they won a title, I kind of like the Cavs. I can't consider myself a Cavs fan, so I watched a couple Cavs games this year, but never all the way through.
Yeah. So let's update the Cavs. Here's their situation today. So they are now minus 165 to win the series. The Pacers are 140, and of course Cleveland down 2-1. Game today, though. And here are your odds now to win the NBA championship. OKC plus 190. The Celtics plus 215. The Cavs are plus 525. And the Minnesota Timberwolves are plus 625. Today, the Cavs are a 5.5-point road favorite against the Pacers.
I like it. They have the momentum now. If they get this one, they're going to, I think, cruise to victory. I was very confident coming into this series the Cavs would win, and they had, obviously Garland came in. He was already banged up. But then they had guys go down and back-to-back possessions in the fourth quarter of that one game. Hunter and was it Mobley as well? Yeah, they went down back-to-back possessions. It was geez, are they snake bit here? And then they missed the next game. You're thinking, geez, if these guys are out multiple games, that is a huge problem. And then all 3 of them came back this last game. So if they stay healthy, I think they're going to be fine. So hopefully the Cavs can get it done. All right. Our buddy Jim Knowles had a lot to say this past week to ESPN. He talked about his departure from Ohio State. I got a couple of problems with some of the things that Jim Knowles said. We're going to get into that next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN. Get Eco.
ECO.
Aaron, I love that we fix ACs for free.
I don't think we do that, Jerry.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Stay with me, Aaron. I'm going to explain to you how it works.
You're going to explain to me how my own invention works?
Get Eco.
ECO.
Step 1. Some other HVAC company tells a customer that they need a whole new system.
Yes.
And then they call us.
They can always call us, Jerry.
Get Eco.
ECO.
And then we repair their system for free.
No, then they pay us.
But we give the money back, right?
We give them back all the money they paid us to fix their old system when they finally do need a new one.
Up to $1,500, right?
Right.
Aaron, we're fixing HVAC systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
We extend the life of their system.
That's right.
Those extra years are free. On me.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco. Plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. This month of May is a fantastic time to win at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Win a pair of tickets to the Memorial Tournament by visiting at Hollywood Columbus on social media and follow the steps for a chance to win. You've got a chance every Tuesday for second chance drawings. You can cash it on your losing wagers. 5 winners every Tuesday get $100 pen cash. Plus, all you can eat ribs Tuesdays and Thursdays in May, only at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook inside Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Save big money on your entire roofing project at Menards. Your roof is the first line of defense against the elements and represents up to 40% of your home's exterior. Owens Corning Architectural Shingles offer ultimate protection and impressive curb appeal. Choose from over 40 options and save big money on all Owens Corning shingles now at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
The fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Oh, boy, do we love drama. And there was certainly a decent amount of drama this week that dropped when Jim Knowles finally made some comments about the situation leaving Ohio State. And here's the deal. It came out that at 5:06 a.m., 2 days after Ohio State won the national championship, Jim Knowles called up James Franklin and was interested in the Penn State defensive coordinator job. And look, so much credit needs to go to Jim Knowles and what he did with this Ohio State defense. Look, they were number one in points allowed per game last year, under 13 points per game. Yards allowed per game last year, 255. Yards allowed per play, 4.2. Red zone defense was fantastic. So tons of credit to what Knowles accomplished here with this Ohio State defense. But this divorce between Knowles and Ohio State has been very interesting, Dave.
Very interesting, and his comments were very interesting. And, we'll recap some of the things he said, but I will caution everybody. I'm sure a lot of our listeners, if not all, have read what Jim Knowles said, if not all of it, at least partially. We're only hearing one side of the story. I give Ryan Day and Ross Bjork a lot of credit. They were contacted for the story. They just said no comment. Good. Nothing. I'm sure they would. That was tempting, Scott. I'm sure they were tempted to be like, nah, this isn't exactly true. This is exaggerated. This is BS. but they didn't. They took the higher road. Okay, here's some things I have a problem with, and you set it up well. I always liked Knowles. When I got a chance to speak with him personally, I liked him. I appreciate what he did for Ohio State, number 1 defense in the country. Yeah, he had a lot of weapons to work with, okay? We know it was a very talented defense. They were stacked, but still, number 1 in every meaningful category, national champions, and they were the better side of the ball. Though the offense was good, the defense was better than the offense. So credit to Jim Knowles for helping Ohio State win a national championship. All right. That being said, what do I have a problem with? I have a big problem with going to Ohio State the week of the national championship game and asking for a raise. You can say, well, his agent's just doing his job. The agent works for you. I'm telling my agent, do not do that this week. Let's wait till after we beat Notre Dame, then we can take care of that, all right? Let's focus on this. That's a bad look right there. Then what, about a day and a half after you win the national championship, you're yourself reaching out to James Franklin? Here's what I think happened, Scott. I think Jim Knowles never got over the fact, this is what I think happened. This is what I've been told happened. Never got over that Ryan Day undressed him behind closed doors after the first Oregon game. Just laid into him because the defense was horrible that game. And you can tell they switched up their scheme after that. And what happened? They became the best defense in the country. Now, I've heard maybe Matt Guerrero and some of these guys had more of a fingerprint on that than maybe we thought. So the biggest thing, man, I do not like that he was looking for a raise the week of the national championship game. First of all, Ohio State's not going to do that with anybody. If they were, it'd be maybe the head coach, but not even then. Just a bad look. Wait till after the national championship game to take care of that. And the stuff about the parade, I mean, I heard Ohio State told him not to come. It wasn't a parade, the championship celebration, after they learned that he had reached out to Penn State. It wasn't like they were just like, don't come out of like spite. They were like, okay, you're reaching out to other teams, including one of our, I know people are going to say Penn State's not a rival. They're the second biggest rival. I have a problem with reaching out to Penn State. I have a big problem with trying to get a raise the week of the national championship game, Scotty.
Yeah, very, very well said. Like the way this divorce happens between Knowles and Ohio State, because again, you're on cloud nine. You just won a national championship with an elite defense, and how they came together was incredible. And so, yeah, I mean, everybody right after the national championship game is just shocked at how this all went down. And so that was a wild scenario. I'm glad that we finally got a little bit on the record, though, from Knowles on this, because I think there's a lot of people with a lot of assumptions, and he put it out there. And I think you're right. I think Ohio State's playing the right card and not responding to any of it. And now it's time to just move on, right? You got Matt Patricia in here, and I think Ohio State fans are really excited about what's going forward. So to me, it was an ugly divorce. It's done. It's over with. And now you're going to see Jim Knowles and Penn State add a little bit to that Ohio State-Penn State rivalry.
Coming here.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. Nico and UCLA coming here. How about that?
Yeah.
Texas. I mean, this is a really interesting and tough schedule. I mean, Texas, leading off with Texas, I mean, I need to say nothing else about that. How about at Illinois? That's not even a sneaky tough game. Like, Ohio State has tough times playing on that wind tunnel anyway, but Illinois, top 20 team last year, they're bringing back a ton of guys, including their quarterback, Altmaier. They're going to be good. They're a pretty good, bargain to win the Big Ten championship. Now, I don't think Illinois is going to win the Big Ten championship, but Ohio State's odds, Ohio State has the best odds, plus 210. So the top 3 teams are bunched up. It's Ohio State plus 210, Penn State plus 280 or 250, and then Oregon plus 280. So they're bunched up. Then there's a kind of a big gap to Michigan at 4th. Then a big gap till Illinois plus 3,500. I just like the value at plus 3,500 because Illinois is going to be a really good team. And really their only tough Big Ten game is Ohio State at home.
If it's all right with you, let's continue to talk Ohio State football and betting odds. That's next on The Money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at changethegameohio.org. That's changethegameohio.org.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton. ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and add considerable value to your property. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
Scotty, I referenced you on my Bucknuts podcast earlier this week because I saw that Jeremiah Smith has the fourth best odds to win the Heisman. It goes Arch Manning, Garrett Nussmeier. It goes Cade Klubnik. Klubnik or Klubnik? What are we going with?
I think it's Klubnik.
Klubnik. I hear a lot of people say Klubnik, but I think it's Klubnik. Yes. I think Klubnik sounds cooler. Let's go with Klubnik. So it's those three. And then Jeremiah Smith at 4. And then guess who's 5th? Don't guess because I know you know.
I do know.
Julian Sand.
Yeah.
So you have, and I referenced you because you got it locked in at 18-1 with JJ Smith to win the Heisman. Now it's all the way down to, well, not all the way down. It's not like a huge difference, down to 12-1. I just think it's awesome that he's there. And it's going to be really tough to win it because even if he's going to put up a huge year if he stays healthy. We know that. But Carnell Tate's going to get his. Brandon Ennis is going to get his. James Peoples is going to get his. Max Clare is going to get his. I mean, I don't know. It's just going to be tough for him because of all the weapons Ohio State has, brand new quarterback who has the 5th lowest odds to win the Heisman. But I just think it's cool as heck that he's entering the season with the 4th best odds to win the Heisman.
So what I like to do generally, like every January right after the national championship game, is kind of look at what the most valuable bet on the board is. And for me, I was looking at the national championship odds for the next year, and nothing really completely stood out to me as far as the national championship odds. Nothing was like, oh gosh, gotta jump on that right away. But the odds that came out that were interesting to me right away was Jeremiah Smith as Heisman Trophy at 18-1. And we know the hype, right? Everybody says that Jeremiah Smith, if he were to have been in this year's NFL draft, he would have been the number 1 pick overall. And so the talent is there. He's coming off winning a national championship, and everybody now knows him going into the season. And that plays such a huge fact in the Heisman race is you can start out with that big name. That's a big factor. Number 2, to me is think about the at-bats, the huge at-bats that he's going to have this year. Number one, starting right out of the gates of playing a game against Texas. Like the entire college football world is going to be watching that game, and that's what everybody's going to be focused on in week one when everybody's really paying attention. And if he comes out of the gates with a big-time game, he's going to find himself to be a front runner right away. So at 18-1, I did grab it. I went big on it. The odds in the ESPN Bet app right now, 9-1 on Jeremiah Smith. So he's now behind Arch Manning, who's 7-1, Garrett Nussmeier, who's plus 850, and then Jeremiah Smith 9-1.
Oh, now he's third?
He's third.
Things have changed since Wednesday.
Yeah.
All this hype that we've been giving him. It's us, isn't it? No, it's crazy, man. I mean, he's going to go down as the best receiver to come through Ohio State. And I know you say that out loud. It's like, oh, hold on a second. There's been like 20, 30 great receivers that come through here. Chris Carter, I think, would be number one. Would we say if we were ranking them over the years? Terry Glenn had maybe the best season. You know, we've had just, I mean, it was not long ago, Scott, we were saying Marvin Harrison Jr. might be the best one to come through here. And here he is. Jeremiah Smith came in and just as a freshman, first of all, he looks like an NFL receiver, like a veteran NFL receiver, not like a rookie NFL receiver. He's built like a 10-year veteran NFL receiver right now, and he's stayed humble so far. I love that.
Well, and don't you agree with me that the Heisman, yes, there's one way to win the Heisman, which is to put up just absolutely ridiculously stupid numbers. Like Jaden Daniels did it a couple years ago where he was on a LSU team that really wasn't that good, but he put up numbers that were so spectacular, you had to give him the award. And then there's guys that are on really, really good teams, like I think in this case what Jeremiah Smith will be, that you just had enormous moments. And you're going to have that game against Texas. You're going to have Penn State, which a lot of people think Penn State's a top 5 team. You're going to have the opportunity at the end of the year against Michigan. You're going to have a Big Ten championship game. There's just so many big-time moments that Ohio State football is going to have this year that I think Jeremiah Smith is just going to have a great opportunity to do it. And his biggest competition is probably the guy who he's going up against in week one, which is Arch Manning, who also has that huge name recognition.
It's interesting. So the 4 favorites to win the Heisman are all going to be playing not each other, but Nussmeier and Klubnik are going to be playing each other, and Arch Manning and Jeremiah Smith are going to be playing each other. And then 5th is Julian Sands. So the top 5 are all going to be kind of, again, not playing each other, but a mix of playing each other. That's very interesting.
Drew Aller, by the way, right there as well, who's also going to be playing against Ohio State.
So next hour, we're going to do our this or that segment. I just came up with one on the fly because I believe, I've thought about this for a long time. Like, why do we give the Heisman out before the most important games of the season? Maybe give the Heisman out after the CFP? Are you getting with you should have the Heisman ceremony before the end of the season, or should it be after the season? We're not going to answer that now. We're going to wait till this or that. But up next, Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjork wants to do something we all want to happen. He wants a better atmosphere at the Schott. He wants a better atmosphere at the Shoe. How can that happen? That's up next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Check out our great selection of sweet surprises for Mother's Day. You'll find colorful bouquets, decadent chocolates, and more. Happy Mother's Day from Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, you're the Carfax guy.
The Carfox from Carfax.
Wow.
And you, sir, work at Tire Discounters.
I sure do.
The Carfax top-rated service center.
Oh, right. You know, a lot of that's because of our services. But people think we're just about tires.
Maybe it's your name.
Yeah.
Tire Discounters. And your jingle.
Oh, you like it?
I think it needs something.
Yeah? Like what?
Hit it. Plus brakes, oil changes, shocks, and struts, and more. Now that speaks to me.
Hey Sports Cards fans, I'm Jeff with my buddy Adam, and we run Huggy Kissy Bear breaks on the Whatnot app. What's a card break? Simple. We open boxes of cards live, you pick your team, and we send you all the hits. With over 2,300 5-star reviews, we're all about you. New to card breaks? No sweat. We've got you covered with a sweet welcome package from us. Download the Whatnot app and follow us on Instagram and TikTok to view all of our past Sugar Bear hits. Huggy Kissy Bear breaks, where collectors win big.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at changethegameohio.org. That's changethegameohio.org.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
So, Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjork did talk about something that's very important this week, and that is improving the game day atmosphere, both at Ohio Stadium and at the Schott, and he's dead right. He is absolutely right. And there's a lot of different things that he talked about, but he kind of talked about how that Tennessee playoff game was what he wants this atmosphere to be like every single week here in Columbus. And look, you're throwing 100,000 people in the shoe, and we've all been out there for a noon game where there's not a ton of buzz and everything like that. But you got to find a way. There's only 7 or 8 of these every single year. Okay, so it's a very small number of times that we can all get together on campus and celebrate and watch this football team and just kind of everything that goes around it, the band, the tailgating, everything. And too often you get into the shoe and it's not loud and it's not exciting and it feels sometimes a little corporate with too much sponsor stuff, too many activities, too long of commercial breaks that you're just sitting there, standing there. Look, I'll be honest with you. There are bathroom lines that are just way too long that, hey, you want to be watching the action, but you got to go stand for 15, 20 minutes to go to the bathroom. And that's a huge issue. There's a lot of things that Ohio State needs to improve about the game day experience. I love the fact that Ross Bjork is being honest about it and that it needs improved, and it needs improved both in football and in basketball.
No doubt about it. I'll talk about the latter in a moment. I think that's the bigger problem because Ohio Stadium has kind of been this way for as long as I can remember. There's certain games where it's just you can't hear yourself think. I think like 95 Notre Dame, pick any Michigan game, pick a lot of Penn State games where it's just it doesn't matter what they did as far as like a game day atmosphere. It's going to be like off the chain. Then there's some games where it's just like they're playing, when they're playing Dartmouth this year, there's just no way you can make that a great atmosphere. Okay. The key is those games in the middle. How can we make those? Those are the games that frustrate me. Okay. We know there's going to be some cream puff games that the atmosphere is not going to be great. We know there's going to be some games like the Texas game. You don't have to worry about anything for the Texas game, Penn State game. What about those games in the middle? Those games against like solid Big Ten teams, like let's say a Minnesota, for example. How can we make those better? Well, I think Ross Bjork referenced the Tennessee game. So I think the key is 2 things. You have to have the opponent nickname the stadium. In that case, it was Neyland North. And then you have to have Kirk Herbstreit just go off on Ohio State's fans. You get those 2 things, then Ohio State fans are going to respond. But no, I say that in jest. But Yeah, it's going to be tough. I don't really have a great answer for it. Now, you make a great point. I heard people at the Michigan game saying this past year they were waiting in line for like an hour to go to the bathroom, waiting an hour for like certain things. So they've got to clean that up, that situation up. But Ohio State football has been this way for a long time. Now, the Schott, we know that during the Mata era, there were times when it was like how it should be. And that was even before they brought the students down. I feel like winning's going to cure all with the Schott, but with the Ohio Stadium, I don't really have a great answer for those mid-tier games. How are we going to get those where those games are also where you can't hear yourself think?
Well, you've got to generate this thing. And again, a big part of this is time of the game, right? Because a noon game, it is tougher to get the juice for a noon game. And with the Fox deal, there's just so many of those noon games. And so for Tennessee, you could do the fireworks, and you had different music going on.
That drone stuff was cool.
The drones, all that stuff. That is absolutely stuff that you can do week in, week out, except a noon game, fireworks aren't nearly as exciting as shooting off fireworks at 7 or 8 o'clock for a night game. And I said
Dartmouth earlier. I meant Grambling.
Yeah, I know what you meant. But
I don't know how I got those two mixed up. But there you go.
Here's the deal, though, as far as Ohio State. I was at the Ohio State-Michigan game. And I went and I took my 9-year-old son. It was his first time going to a game. And we went, and at halftime, we both had to go to the bathroom. So we stand in line. Dave, I didn't get back from going to the bathroom until 5 minutes into the third quarter.
Oh, jeez.
Now, it blows my mind that I would even miss a single play of an Ohio State-Michigan game. But the line was that long, right? I am standing in line, and it's demoralizing because you just absolutely don't want to miss a single second of Ohio State-Michigan. And I'm standing in line to go to the bathroom. And that is a huge problem. That's a big time problem. The other thing is just the time it takes to get into the stadium is another thing that's really, really frustrating.
Yes, the parking is bad and just getting in. You're right.
Yeah.
And they took out all that parking on Cannon Drive. So a little bit south of this, like near the towers, a little bit even like right where the hospital is, to put extra stuff in for the hospital, which I'm sure was necessary. But that's where a lot of people park. So it never was easy, and then it got worse.
Yeah. So, and I remember going to an Ohio State-Minnesota game as a kid. It was my first ever game, and I was in awe just being in that stadium and looking around, and it was just incredible. And they had members of the band kind of come section by section, and it was just a really cool thing.
Yes.
And now it does feel a little too much corporate-y. Like,
they don't do that anymore. I'm up in the press box. So they don't do like where the band, because that used to be something really cool when I was a student at Ohio State.
And maybe they still do, but
that's a good example of stuff they could do, though.
Yeah. But for me, it was just like that first experience in the shoe was just incredible. And then it's just like it feels like during timeouts feel so ridiculously long.
They are,
and they do like too much corporate stuff, and it's taken away a little bit of the atmosphere. I hope they go back. In the way Ross Bjork is talking, it does sound like there is the push to kind of get this atmosphere kind of more like that Tennessee game.
Let's talk more about this next on The Money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at the Honda dealership here in Central Ohio, Germain Honda of Dublin. You know the brand, you know the reliability and the styling. Now get to know the deals. Grab a new 25 Honda HR-V, a 25 Accord SE, or even a 25 CR-V LX all-wheel drive for 0% up to 36 months. Talk to my man Rich. Get the right vehicle, the right deal at the right dealer. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall from my friends at Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. 2 years ago, I was actually experiencing hip pain for the first time in my life, and I knew I needed the best. So I chose Orthopedic One for my physical therapy needs. And in a matter of weeks, I was rotating that golf swing better than before, and I was the longest hitter in my group again. So be like me and trust Orthopedic One. Several convenient locations around Central Ohio. To find a physician or location near you, go to www.orthopedic1.com.
Earn $200 when you spend $2,000 in the first 90 days with a new Visa from Kemba Financial Credit Union. Plus, pay 0% APR on balances transferred in the first 90 days for 15 months. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. APR equals annual percentage rate. Offer ends June 30th, 2025. Equal opportunity lender.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I always have the greenest lawn in the neighborhood. It's luscious. I swear by two things, water and Weed Man. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will make sure your lawn is weed-free and looking gorgeous. Of course, they get rid of weeds, but they also do aeration, mosquito control, grub control, crabgrass prevention, and flea and tick control for your four-legged friends. For a free quote, give them a call, 614-733-3747, weedmanusa.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
All right, so we talked a lot last segment about how can we improve the environment at Ohio Stadium for Ohio State games. Those mid-tier games, right? We know there's certain games, it's almost fait accompli. There's other games where you could do nothing and it's going to be loud as heck. But what about those mid-tier games? I think the thing you and I like the most of those, the drone shows, which is basically like fireworks on steroids. It's really, really cool. Stuff like that,
yep,
I think helps. And like helping with the bathroom situation, making parking better, because people get frustrated before they even sit down at a game because it takes forever to get in. And then when they have to go to the bathroom, they get frustrated. So those are things that can be fixed.
Well, let's be honest, too. Technology is a huge part of it, right? We all have our phones. We all want to be able to text and send messages and talk to people during the game, message people. That's another factor. And, I talked about this experience at the Michigan game where I took my 9-year-old son and we literally waited from the start of halftime until about 5 minutes into the third quarter of the OSU Michigan game. Missing a play was unbelievable, but I had to wait that long to go to the bathroom. That's completely unacceptable and needs to be fixed. And I did see on our YouTube chat, our buddy Mark talked about how they brought in porta potties for the Tennessee game, because that's a must. And I know that looks like, come on, you don't want to necessarily see 100 porta potties lined up at the stadium. However, what you don't want is somebody that has to stand in line for 40 minutes to pee. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, what's the lesser of evils? A little bit of an eyesore, It's not even that big of a deal. There's tons of porta potties right outside the stadium, for people that are tailgating and stuff. That's way better. What's the lesser of the evils? Definitely having the porta potties as opposed to like people standing in line for an hour at the Michigan game trying to go. So yeah, I love some of these comments, and let's get to basketball. All right. Is it as simple as winning cures all? Because listen, I covered the Mata era, start to finish. Was at every home game, every press conference during the Mata era. You were a season ticket holder throughout the Mata era and beyond. We know that, not every game, not even close to every game, but the atmosphere was pretty good during the Mata era overall. Could it have been better? Yes. It wasn't like the Breslin Center or anything, or some of the best venues in the Big Ten or the country, but it was. I remember thinking like, okay, it got hopping in there many, many times. It's been a while since it's been hopping in there. So does winning cure all, or is it more than that?
So winning does cure a lot.
Yes.
Right? Because I'm sitting there in the Schott and I'm thinking back to some of those iconic games. You know, the Ohio State-Wisconsin game where Ohio State and Wisconsin were both like ranked number one. One was one in the AP poll. One was one in the coaches poll. I'm thinking back to OSU Duke when Ohio State destroyed Duke when it was Sullinger and Kraft and the atmosphere and the craziness of that one. And there's been some more recent games too where there's been good atmosphere, but it's like only once or twice a year, unfortunately. Now, here's the deal for me with the Schott. I was a season ticket holder for 20 years for Ohio State basketball. And then COVID happened. And then you're watching all the games in your man cave in front of a gigantic TV, comfortable, bathroom close, drinks free, refrigerator 5 steps away. And it's very, very tempting, right? To just be like, well, this is very convenient. I can watch other games that are going on. And so
you don't have to drive to and from the game.
I don't have to drive to and from and worry about parking and getting in and getting out and all that stuff. And so TVs and the man cave and that experience it was like, well, crap. I never thought that I would ever give up my Ohio State basketball season tickets. But after the COVID year, there were 2 years where we were like, okay, well, are we going to still go back and go to games? And I still go to 4 or 5 games a year. I'm not going to 15, 16 games that I used to do.
We have Nate on our YouTube chat, which is picking up big time. Nate and Mark are in there. Nate says he'd prefer, and I've heard a lot of fans say this, I used to feel this way too. He said, I would prefer if they would renovate St. John Arena and make it a permanent site for basketball games. Listen, those of us that remember going to games there, it was awesome. The acoustics in there, and still are for like Skull Session, but there's something with the structure, like it's like sinking. So I don't think renovating St. John is a viable option. However, and I don't know, I mean, the Schott was built when? 99, 98? It opened in 98. So it's going to be a while before they're able to build a new arena. Hopefully they do something like that where it's like a capacity of like 14,000. St. John, just a little bit under that. It was like 13,700, something like that. Right around there, make it more of an intimate atmosphere. It's funny we're talking about 14,000 as an intimate atmosphere. But that's another problem with the Schott. It's just too big.
So here's the problem that I see in college basketball is there are too many games where you're playing like just absolute no-name schools, right? There's usually 5 or 6 of those, maybe even more on the schedule every single year. And those games are a complete waste of time as far as a fan goes. Like, you're looking at it, you're like, do I want to go watch Ohio State play Bryant Heating and Cooling? You know, it's like, it's there's
Be
too
easy
many,
with our sponsors, man.
But there's too many of those games, right? There's like 6 games that are just absolute throw-out games every single year, and that's a problem. When November and December, you look at it and you're like, oh, there's one quality game. You know, this last year, I know that they had Pittsburgh at home. That was a fun game, but it's just rare. There's just too many of those stinker games on the schedule. So that's part of it. That's why I think November, December is a real struggle. And then let's be honest with you. If they're not winning at a decent rate, the OSU basketball, that atmosphere is not going to be good, no matter what they do to the arena.
Real quick, how you feeling about it? They have one spot to fill. They need to get a wing. How you feeling so far about what they're doing in the transfer portal?
I like it. You're right. They still need to get a 3. But look, I like the depth pieces because the biggest issue that I had with OSU basketball this last year was the complete lack of depth. And you had to play Thornton nearly 40 minutes and you had Royal going nearly 40 minutes. Now this year, it feels like they're addressing the depth issue that they had the previous year.
The odds for the number 1 pick in next year's NFL draft are out. We're going to take a look at those next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
All right, the odds to be the number one pick in the 2026 NFL Draft are out. Texas's Arch Manning is your favorite, plus 240. Garrett Nussmeier, LSU quarterback, plus 430. Drew Aller, Penn State quarterback, 5-1. Let's go down the list a little bit. Cade Klubnik, 7.5-1. You get down here. Caleb Downs, 35-1 to be the number one. How about that if safety was the number one pick and to be Mr. Caleb Downs? Whoever gets Caleb Downs is going to be very happy. I don't think it's going to be the number one pick of the draft. Let me ask you this. I understand Arch Manning, the odds-on favorite. I mean, he couldn't even beat out Quinn Ewers, who was a 7th-round pick. He looked okay. Arch Manning looks good. I don't know if I'm completely buying the hype. Here's why. Are we sure if his last name was like Peterson? If he was Arch Peterson, would we be giving him this? I'm serious. Same exact player. Everything's the same. But his last name is not Manning. Would we be anywhere near on this hype train? Because I say no.
No, we absolutely wouldn't be anywhere near that on the hype train. There'd be, obviously, he's crazy talented, right? But we wouldn't have that. He wouldn't be the odds-on favorite at this point to win the Heisman Trophy if his last name wasn't Manning. Now, here's the interesting thing. So I want to take this back to the Cleveland Browns because the over-under on season wins this coming year in the ESPN Bet app, the lowest number of over-under wins is 4.5, and it's the Cleveland Browns. Okay, so that's betting odds will tell you that the favorite to be the number one pick in the draft is the Browns based on that, right? On their over-under season win total. So you got to be thinking this is Browns are going to be right in this discussion. The Saints are another team now. Carr is gone. He's retired. They're another team that will be bad and will be kind of competing for that number one pick most likely. Then you can probably throw the New York teams in there. The Giants.
I was wondering. I was even
Jets,
thinking which one of those is worse. Just both of them.
And the Titans probably too. So
Yeah.
those are probably your 5, and maybe Carolina as well. But those are your worst teams. So what we're going to be hearing throughout the entire year is, the tanking for Arch Manning, and is it worth it and all that good stuff. Now, the interesting thing to me now, Dave, and I'm going to come back at you at this, is if you're Arch Manning and now in the NIL world, you have the opportunity to make millions and millions of dollars in college football. I mean, it's reported that this year he's in the neighborhood of about $6 million in NIL coming into this season when he hasn't really done anything yet.
Good. The family needs money.
What if they go and Texas gets to the playoffs and maybe he wins a Heisman Trophy? He's the favorite. Maybe they get to the national championship and he has that decision to make of, do I go be the number one pick in the NFL draft? And you'll make significant money. Cam Ward signed a 4-year deal worth about $48 million, so that's obviously really good. Or you come back to Texas and you are on an NIL deal. So that's the interesting thing to me going forward is, will these guys who would be number one picks or top picks come back because of the NIL worth?
The Quinn Ewers quandary, we will always refer to it as. Maybe not in those exact words, but that's going to be the one we always point to because he was making around, I think, $3 million, probably could have easily made, maybe he's making more than that. If Carson Beck's making $4 million this year at Miami, if Quinn Ewers wanted to come back, and he would have had to transfer because I think they were ready to move on and make it Arch Manning's team, he easily could have got $4 million, probably $5 million. Instead, he's a 7th-round pick.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I do think the calculus changes if you're a guy like Quinn Ewers who's already made money that should, unless he blows it, should last him the rest of his life and then some, right? He already has all this money. Arch Manning, same deal. He already has plenty of money. His family has plenty of money. I think if you're in that situation, you already have plenty of money, maybe then it's time to go to the NFL. Where if you're a kid and you think, I better get all I can now, maybe then you come back and do the NIL. But if you're like a Cam Ward, he made the right choice. You're being the number one pick of the draft. All right, the first hour of the show is in the books. Stick around for the second hour. This is On the Money.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Check out our great selection of sweet surprises for Mother's Day. You'll find colorful bouquets, decadent chocolates, and more. Happy Mother's Day from Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. This month of May is a fantastic time to win at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Win a pair of tickets to the Memorial Tournament by visiting at Hollywood Columbus on social media and follow the steps for a chance to win. You've got a chance every Tuesday for second chance drawings. You can cash it on your losing wagers. 5 winners every Tuesday get $100 pen cash. Plus, all you can eat ribs Tuesdays and Thursdays in May, only at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook inside Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Hey, it's Anthony for Orthopedic One. I'm not invincible anymore. I never was, but I refuse to punt on things I still love to do. That's why over the past several years, when I've had things creep up, like back pain, shoulder issue, elbow problem, I've had it all, I've always chosen Orthopedic One. That's because Orthopedic One is Ohio's largest physician-owned orthopedic practice with 60 physicians in every specialty. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com. Orthopedic One, this is where you go to get better.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now. now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TOUR to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TOUR to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TOUR.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports.
And I'm Cam Taylor. The Boston Celtics won their first game in the second round of the NBA playoffs on the road at Madison Square Garden yesterday over the New York Knicks, 115-93. New York leads the series 2-1 with Game 4 at MSG tomorrow night at 7:30. The Minnesota Timberwolves took a 2-1 series lead after their 102-97 win over the Golden State Warriors last night. Minnesota will look to go up 3-1 tomorrow night at 10. The Cleveland Cavaliers will look to even their series at 2 games apiece tonight against the Indiana Pacers at 8 p.m. The Cincinnati Reds defeated the Houston Astros 13-9 yesterday. Cincinnati scored 10 runs in the first inning for the first time since 1989. The two teams will meet again today at 2:10. And the Cleveland Guardians lost to the Philadelphia Phillies 7-1 yesterday, and the two sides will face off again today at 7 p.m. Then the Columbus Crew tied the Philadelphia Union 2-2 in a battle between two of the top teams in the MLS.
Scotty's kids don't ask how his day was. They ask if all his bets won. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
Welcome back to On the Money, 97.1 The Fan. I am Dave Biddle. I am joined by the one and only Scott Prokop. We, of course, like to call him Scotty Vegas. We have producer Cam Taylor at the controls. Let's waste no time, Cam. It is time for the Parlay Party. Hit it. Parlay Parties where we celebrate anything we want to celebrate. Could be a nice parlay that we hit. Could be anything at all. Scotty Vegas, what are you celebrating here on Mother's Day?
Here's the first thing I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate mothers because it is Mother's Day. Got a lot of wonderful mothers in my life, including my wife, who does an amazing job with our two kids, Autumn and Spencer. We were actually at a tennis match yesterday watching my daughter play. And, it's funny. She's 11 and she was going up against a couple high schoolers. And, the stress of watching your daughter play. And I'm just watching my wife, Carrie, just do laps around the upper concourse there at Elysium.
Oh, yes.
As we're watching her play, and just the excitement and the proud moments that you feel. No, she didn't win, but she played really well.
She's an 11-year-old playing against high school kids. That's a great experience for Autumn. Did
fantastic, and I'm just I want to celebrate Carrie, my wife, and then my mom, who listens every single week. She's a passionate listener here of the show. Appreciate her. We're going to do a little Sunday brunch, and then mother-in-law Therese as well. So thank you to all the mothers out there. Celebrate you on this day. Every day should be Mother's Day, but celebrate today. The other thing I'm celebrating, guys, is this weather. Holy crap, has it been amazing, right? I mean, it has been absolutely awesome the last couple days. Finally, after what felt like 3 months straight of rain, we got the perfect couple days. I'm glad it's as nice as it is on Mother's Day weekend. I'm also celebrating the fact that we've got the PGA Championship coming up, and that's coming up this Thursday. Great major, and I feel like golf's at a great place where all of the really, really good players are peaking at the right time. Rory's playing great coming off of that Masters win. Scotty Scheffler's been awesome. He won a week ago by about 10 strokes. You got Bryson DeChambeau. So all the stars are playing well heading into the second major of the year. Can't wait for that this coming week. Dave, what are you celebrating?
Also celebrating the moms in my life, my wife and my mother. I'm not brown nosing like you were because they don't listen to the show. No, but really, I'm very fortunate to have the wife that I do and the mom that I do. So happy Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to all the great moms out there. And even for the regular moms. No, I'm kidding. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there who is a mom. You guys are special and then some. And I'm also celebrating the fact that our YouTube chat is very lively right now. I like what Craig said here, he said, the odds for the first pick in the NFL are out. I'm a Browns fan and a Star Wars fan. Quote, don't tell me the odds. Love it. I love it there. And I hit a couple of nice parlays this week. A couple of nice ones where I threw like $10 down and it paid out like 180. You know, a couple of those where I got lucky, 4-leg parlays that I hit. So it was a profitable gambling week. Cam, what are you celebrating?
So basically, like you guys, definitely a big shout out to the moms today. Happy Mother's Day. Definitely looking forward to having like a breakfast brunch with my mom after I get done working today. Also, big shout out to the weather that we've been having. Definitely been really excited about that. NBA playoffs have been really good. And then lastly, I was just going to hit you with the first American Pope. I think that's really cool as well.
Yeah, that is cool.
From Chicago, a White Sox fan from the Midwest. So, yeah, how about a shout out to the American Pope?
How about that? I never thought we'd see an American Pope. That was not on my radar.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Love that, Kim. And again, all the moms, we love you. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
And for Mother's Day, here's our little gift. We're gonna start a new segment here. We are going to do a Back to the Future. So Cam, let's hit it. Oh yes, of course. I always dream of that Biff's Almanac. You know, where you have all of the results and you can bet ahead of time.
And I always dream of the flying cars. Weren't we supposed to have those by now? Where are the flying cars at?
Right.
Jeez,
Exactly.
we're like late on that. I think Back to the Future 2 had like, what did we have of flying cars? Like, oh, that was in Back to the Future 1, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was it 1 or 2?
Well, I guess the DeLorean. No, that was 2.
No, it would have been 2 because they went forward.
DeLorean, it didn't fly. It just took you back in time.
Yeah. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I am going to quiz Dave on various futures that are on the betting board, okay? And, all right, we're going to start out with a college basketball future. Dave.
Okay.
Who is the favorite to win the college basketball national championship next season?
UConn.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
They are not the favorite.
All right. Ohio State. No, I'm kidding. Kansas.
Okay, I'm going to give you a hint.
Okay.
Big Ten.
Big Ten? The Big Ten. Is it Michigan State?
It's not.
I have no idea.
Purdue. Purdue is the favorite to win the national championship next year in college basketball.
Dave doesn't know.
What do you mean Scotty doesn't know? It's Dave doesn't know.
You have to sing Dave when it says Scotty.
All right. So second on the board is Duke at 11-1.
Okay.
Let's go to the NFL world. And again, we are doing futures bets. It is Back to the Futures edition here on the Money. Regular season MVP, who is the favorite for next season?
Lamar Jackson.
And of course, we use the ESPN Bet app, and Lamar Jackson is the favorite. Very well done. You opened up Biff's Almanac and found that Lamar Jackson's the favorite. At plus 550, right behind him,
Joe Burrow.
And
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, yes.
Patrick Mahomes getting no love.
Yeah. How about this? Let's go with it. We'll stay with the NFL and awards. Who is the favorite to be Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Ashton Genty.
Yes, that is correct. Very well done.
I almost joked and said Will Howard.
Can you tell me who's number 2?
Oh, geez. Amarian Hampton.
No.
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward is second. Travis Hunter is third.
Well, I like that.
Those are your odds for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Next up, let's go. I told you about the PGA Championship coming up this coming week. Who is the favorite heading into the PGA Championship?
Scotty doesn't know.
That's
Scheffler.
right. That's right. I thought you were going to go Rory McIlroy coming off the Masters win.
But like, as you said, like Scheffler shot like 900 under par his previous tournament. So
yes.
He's pretty good.
And okay, let's go with this one. Hockey now.
Hockey.
We are in the playoffs, NHL Stanley Cup. Who is the favorite now to win the playoffs?
Oh, geez.
Who's going to win the cup?
Goodness gracious. I want to look up at least. No, I'm not going to look up anything.
No, you can't look anything up.
I wanted to look up like who like was like leading in their series because I'm like everything's running together right now. I'll just go with my first instinct. I don't think this is right. I'll go with the Maple Leafs.
No, that is not correct. Dave doesn't know. It isn't. Who's your next guess?
Okay, is it the team they're playing? The Panthers?
It's Carolina.
Carolina, okay.
Carolina plus 325. And then you have Edmonton at plus 360. All right, now this one I'm going to need you to go in order. Top 5 odds to win the Big Ten championship in college football this coming season.
To win the Big Ten championship?
Yep, Big Ten.
Okay, so Ohio State 1.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State's 2.
No.
Oregon's 2.
Oregon's 2.
It does depend on what you look at.
True.
Yeah, because the one I was
but
looking
we look at the ESPN Bet app.
The one I was looking at had Penn State. Okay, Oregon 2, Penn State 3. And then Michigan would be 4th. And Illinois 5th.
No. The ESPN Bet app has Indiana at 25-1 with the 5th best odds to win the Big Ten. Then it's USC at 6th.
As the Indiana
7th.
football betting expert, I can tell you right now, Illinois will have a better record than Indiana this year. I would bet you anything.
So, Dave, this is fascinating to me. Big Ten odds for Illinois to win the conference next year, 60-1. In the Big Ten. In the ESPN Bet app.
You probably can't get that in most places. The one I saw had Illinois at plus 3,500, and I still thought that was the best bargain. Anyway, everybody has their different odds. So there you go. All right, national championship?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I thought you were going to tell me. Oh, do you want to do national championship? Okay. National championship. Who's got the best odds?
Yep, go for it.
Okay, Ohio State plus 600.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Texas is next.
Okay.
Okay, and then it goes Georgia.
Correct.
Penn State.
Yeah, I mean, Penn State and this other team have the same odds, but yes.
Oregon.
Yes.
Even though
Keep going.
Oregon's favored over them.
How far can we go?
Okay, so 6th. Let me think here.
This is where I think you'll get it wrong.
Probably. I'll go with Clemson.
No. Notre Dame at 11-1.
Oh, no. Okay, Notre Dame
as the 6th best odds. Then it's Alabama 13-1, Clemson 14-1,
and then LSU maybe after that. And Clemson and LSU play the first week.
Correct. Clemson. That's Clemson and LSU. You go 14-18.
Death Valley versus Death Valley. I think it's in the Clemson version of Death Valley. We're talking about like atmospheres, like maybe like do whatever they do like at LSU and Clemson. Because now listen, we have to be clear about this because. If you go, let's use Penn State as an example. They do a great job at the whiteout. You go when Ohio State players are like, how come it can't be like this at Ohio Stadium? Do we think if they're playing Bowling Green at noon, it's like that? No. Every team has this issue. Every team. Tennessee's got a good home field advantage in regular Neyland Stadium, not Neyland North. But if they're playing like, I don't know, UT Chattanooga at noon, it doesn't have a big atmosphere, great atmosphere. So, like, again, I don't know if much can be done about the lesser games at Ohio State, but we've got to figure out a way to do a better job of making the atmosphere better, is what I call those middle-tier games, because you're not going to worry about it against Texas. If you host a playoff game, you're not going to worry about it. It's going to be off the chain. If you're playing Michigan, Penn State, you don't have to worry about those games. But, like, when they're playing a team like Minnesota, the atmosphere should be better. It really should.
You know what? Unfortunately, a lot of this is out of Ohio State's hands in the fact that a lot of it is game time, Dave. It really is. Like I love the 3:30 kick. That's always been my absolute favorite start time, especially when you get to late fall where 3:30 is when it's starting to get a little dark, and then you go from kind of like somewhat light to dark in the middle of the game. I love that. To me, 3:30 is the sweet spot. Unfortunately, it's very rare now that Ohio State is playing 3:30 games. And atmosphere is so much dictated based on time of day and weather. And so to me, I think, unfortunately, if you're going to keep having so many noon games, it's going to be difficult no matter what Ohio State does.
I'm still flummoxed that Purdue is the betting favorite to win the national championship in basketball next year.
How about that? Yeah.
I did not expect that. Did that shock you when you saw that? You're kind of like, oh, yeah.
I did a double
seems
take.
About right.
I definitely did a double take because initially I was thinking that, okay, it's probably either going to be Duke or Kansas or UConn, one of those three. I mean, Purdue is always solid. Matt Painter kind of had that reputation of underachieving when they got to the tournament. However, they made it all the way to the national championship game 2 years ago. Had a good season this last year. Made some nice moves in the portal. They always have great big guys. They have Smith coming back, so I wasn't shocked by it. Trey Kaufman-Wren, I believe, has to be coming back. It makes sense that Purdue's up there.
This year, the college football playoff will be just like last year as far as the format. However, starting in 2026, do we think they're going to expand to 16 teams in the CFP? Would we like that or not? That's up next on The Money.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Want to learn about Pick 4 from the Ohio Lottery? Okay. Pick 4 is a daily draw game where you pick 4 individual numbers between 0 and 9 that can be played straight, where each number must be drawn in an exact order or box where they can be drawn in any order. You can win up to $2,500 on a 50-cent bet. Learn more at OhioLottery.com or the Ohio Lottery app. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly. Want to go back to the radio? Okay.
You know that thing you've always been too scared to go for? It seems like you'll never have the guts. Then a cancer diagnosis. And doing that thing becomes way less scary. I would know. I've always wanted a black belt. And today, the only thing standing in my way is a few wooden boards. It's been a lot of hard work and 5 years since I beat cancer at Ohio Health. Bring it on. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With TrueHold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. TrueHold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since TrueHold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit TrueHold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring into savings at Ohio Mulch. Get your mulch as easy as ever. Save $50 on home delivery now through Sunday. All you got to do is visit OhioMulch.com today.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply.
Looking to launch a career in the skilled trades but don't know where to begin? Part-time service in the Ohio Army National Guard can help. You can kickstart your career by enlisting in one of our many trades-based jobs. Get paid to learn these skills and gain on-the-job training when you report to your unit 1 weekend a month or 2 weeks in the summer. To learn how the Guard can pay for your civilian trade certification, visit nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up. Going up. But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button. Going down. We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40, period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free Samsung 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay -108 than -110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sportsbook. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ECO.
ECO.
Aaron,
Which brand of air conditioner is the most energy efficient?
It's the one that's had its outside coils cleaned correctly.
Well, I can wash those off with a garden hose, right?
No.
Why not?
Humidity mixes with dust and pollen to create a microthin film of sticky paste that gets baked onto those hot outside coils.
And that baked-on stuff keeps my coils from releasing their heat into the atmosphere.
Which means your system has to run longer, which uses a lot more energy and it shortens the life of your air conditioner.
Get Eco.
ECO. How do we get that baked-on stuff off?
Remove the exterior shroud, then spray the coils from the inside out with a special eco-friendly solvent.
Can I rinse the solvent off with a garden hose?
Yeah, but only from the inside out.
Or I could just pay Eco to do it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco doesn't take shortcuts. We do it the right way every time.
Get Eco professional coil cleaning for just $468.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist Aaron White with your 10 weather impact forecast here for the rest of our Mother's Day. We're looking ahead to beautiful conditions this afternoon. Partly cloudy with highs into the upper 70s. And then for tonight, partly cloudy, cooling down into the upper 50s. By Monday, we're seeing more cloud cover and the chance for rain here by the afternoon with highs into the lower to middle 70s. We'll keep that chance of rain in the forecast with highs in the 70s on Tuesday and Wednesday, but warming back to the 80s on Thursday and Friday. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Dave Biddle was caught trying to bet on office ping pong matchups. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sportsbook of ESPN. What a play.
So we just got to the 12-team playoff, and don't expect it to stay there for very long. In fact, it sounds like there is growing interest in expanding the college football playoff in 2026, so in one more year, to potentially a 16-team college football playoff going forward. And let's be honest with you, when there's talks of this, it means it's going to happen because there's more money involved in 16 teams making the playoffs versus 12 teams making the playoff. It actually came out. Pete Thamel put out a tweet. Power 4 commissioners met this week in New York, and sources said there's continuing focus on a 16-team college football playoff starting in 2026. And, quote, I would say that 16 is becoming more preferred, said an industry source. It seems like 15 may be the preferred number, but there is no format decision quite yet. But, Dave, like you and I were all about the expansion from 4 to 12. Loved it. Loved just about everything that they did except for the seeding process with this. Now, if you're going to go to 16, I believe it takes away some of the cool things that you had with the 12. Number one, I think that the incentive of being a top 4 and getting a bye, and I know that the teams who got a bye this last year all ended up losing early in the college football playoff. However, I think that incentive of getting a bye was kind of a cool thing, and I like that. And then you had the second tier where 5 through 8 all got a home game. So to me, I thought that the way they structured the 12 team was awesome, except for the fact that they gave automatic berths 3 and 4 to conference champions that didn't necessarily need to be the 3 and the 4 seed in this thing. But what are your thoughts? Because I thought 12 is a good number, and it's probably only going to last 2 years to this thing expanding to 16 teams.
Yeah, we knew pretty much for sure they were going to move it from 12 to 14 and possibly to 16. And now, I mean, Pete Thamel wouldn't put that out unless he was 99% sure that 99.9% sure that this is where we're going. Not that he said it's for sure happening, but just the way he worded it. He's hearing from people in the know, obviously. So, I mean, you nailed it. I think this is too many teams. I think 16 would be too many, but follow the money. I mean, if they feel like they can make more money, and they know they can, a lot more money with 4 extra teams in the playoff, that's what they're going to do. And it does. It eliminates buys. I also think, you just got to just go 1 through 16. Forget about all this other nonsense. Rate them 1 through 16, which is what we should do right now. that would alleviate the problem that we had this past year with Boise State and Arizona State having buys. I liked that both of those teams made it. If you're a team like Arizona State or Boise State and you make the CFP, Indiana, that's like your own version of the national championship. That's like just making it. But giving them buys was silly. And we, not to toot our own horn, we were sounding warning signals before the season even started. Like, what are they doing with this buy? The example I used, which ended up being done, didn't make any sense, was it made sense, but Utah ended up having a bad year. But I said, what if Utah's like 9-3, but they sneak their way in the Big 12 championship game, and then they win the Big 12 at 10-3? You're going to give Utah a first-round bye with a 10-3 record? So we saw that a little bit with Arizona State and Boise State. So they need to figure that out, and I think they will, but it won't be this year. It won't be, and they could have. That was the one thing they could have changed this year, Scotty, but because I think the other conferences are mad at the Big Ten and SEC for kind of taking over everything, then they wouldn't agree to it. But they should have just changed the seeding where, forget about like automatic, buys and bids. Just make it 1 through 12. Whoever the top 12 teams are, according to the committee, those are the top 12. Those are the 12 teams that should make the playoff, period. But that's not how they're doing it.
No brainer, Dave. And it's absolutely ridiculous that you didn't see year one, see the flaw of what that was in year one, and then fix it, because they're keeping the same format for year two, which it sounds like that will be the last year of that format, and then we'll go to a new one with the potentially 16. Now, as long as we have more home games on campus sites, I think that would be a win.
Yes, that's good.
So if we had 1 through 16, and the talk is that it will guarantee the Big Ten will get 4 spots guaranteed, the SEC will get 4, the ACC will get 2, the Big 12 will get 2, and that there is 12 of your 16 spots. Then you're going to give 1 spot to one of the group of 5, the smaller conferences, and then there will be 3 at-larges. So that's kind of what the discussion is of how you're going to do the 16 team. I liked how it was with 12. I thought the intrigue of making it or missing it at 12 made sense, because there was that intrigue late of, is Alabama going to make or miss this thing? Is Miami going to make or miss this thing? And now you're adding 4 more teams. I mean, you're really at the point then at team 15, 16, 17, 18. At that point, who cares, make or miss?
And it's so quick. I mean, at least we went from the BCS championship era where you had just 2 teams make it. Then we expanded it to 4 teams with the CFP in 2014. Something about Ohio State, when they expand the CFP, works out well for Ohio State. But that lasted 10 years with the 4-team CFP. Then they triple it to 12. Buckeyes win the national title. Then 2 years later, we're going to go from 12 to 16. Again, for those that are this is not official, but I would bet a lot of money on it, on the money, that in 2026, again, not this coming year, the CFP rules are going to be exactly the same as last year. 12 teams, same dumb first-round buys and automatic bids and all that. Same exact format. But in 2026, it looks like they're headed to 16 games. I don't like it, but it seems like it's definitely going to happen because of the money.
Dave, we'd have a good question from our friend Nate on the YouTube chat. He says, guys, with defensive tackle likely being the weakness of this year's Ohio State team, could you see Matt Patricia utilizing a 5-man defensive front to help with getting gashed up the middle in the run game? What's your thoughts on that?
This is more proof that Scotty doesn't listen to me at all during the break, because I was like, hey, we had a good question from Nate. I'll hit it in our final segment of the show.
Oh, yeah, I don't pay attention.
You tune me out. You tune me out. It's like when my wife talks to me. I shouldn't say this on Mother's Day. Like, kind of pretend like I'm listening, and she's like, you didn't hear anything I said. And sometimes she'll quiz me, and I'm like, okay, I'm screwed. I probably shouldn't admit that on Mother's Day.
Answer it now, because I got something better planned for the last segment.
She's not listening right now anyway, so I'm okay. But if she is, sorry, honey. Okay, that's a great question from Nate. Okay, so yes, we are going to see more odd fronts for sure. It's a great, because they like what they have at defensive end. They've even got some linebackers they can use as like, if in a 3-4, to rush off the edge. Guys like C.J. Hicks would be good in that role. Even a Sonny Styles would be good in that role. Arvell Reese. You can have some traditional DNs that would be like kind of pseudo outside linebackers, like a Kenyatta Jackson, Caden Curry, Bo Atkinson, although he's a big boy. Logan George they got from Idaho State. They like what they have at defensive end. Zion Grady, a true freshman. But I think they like the starting D tackles with Caden McDonald and Edric Houston, but the depth is certainly an issue there. So I think we're going to see a lot of 3-4, which is, depending on how you look at it, that's basically a 5-man front, because your outside linebackers basically serve as defensive ends in a 3-4. So, yeah, I think we're going to see more odd fronts out of Patricia. And they didn't show much last year because they didn't need to. They had 4 defensive linemen that all got drafted, as we know. But, yeah, I think Patricia, and he's done that a lot in the past anyway, Scotty. He's used a lot of 3-4 and things like that, both when he was with the Patriots and during his time in Detroit. So, yeah, great question. We are going to see more odd fronts from Ohio State's defense for sure this year. All right, up next is This or That on the Money.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TOUR to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TOUR to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TOUR.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Scotty Vegas has his own cot in the casino. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. Wanna play?
Welcome back to On the Money. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, Cam Taylor. Right now it's time for one of our favorite segments. It is This or That. Hit it, Cam. All right, you guys getting with Father's Day is more important or Mother? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Mother's Day is more important. I'm joking.
Father's Day. No.
No, Mother's Day is more important. I'm being facetious there. All right. I was going to wait for this one, but we had a question about Matt Patricia in our YouTube chat. Really great question from Nate about are they going to use more odd fronts this year? I think they will. All right, let's do this. Now, last year, Jim Knowles did pretty well, right? Number one defense in the country in every meaningful category.
I'd say.
Won the national championship. And yes, did he have a lot of toys to work with? Yes, he did. A lot of guys got drafted off that defense. You still have guys like Caleb Downs still on that defense. All right. If you had to pick one, and let's say the stuff that happened after, that we know happened didn't happen. You just pick one guy. You getting with Jim Knowles? You'd prefer Jim Knowles as your D coordinator? Or you'd prefer Matt Patricia as your D coordinator?
Look, he just won a national championship. To be honest with you, I'd go Knowles. I really would because of what he did turning around this defense, getting them to the dream season, the dream run. Yeah, I'm going to go Knowles. I think that's the only answer.
I'm getting with Patricia.
I knew you would.
Camo?
I'm going to go with Jim Knowles just because it did take a little bit, but he did improve every year with the Ohio State team.
So let's talk a little bit about grilling because the weather outside has been perfect for grilling over this last few days.
Yes.
And so I'm ready to bust mine out. Today we're doing a little Mother's Day brunch, but I think during the week I will be doing a good amount of grilling. And so I have to make the decision. Do I get hot dogs or brats? Which way do you go? Brats or hot dogs off the grill?
I wanted to cheat and say the Johnsonville sausages with the cheese in them.
No,
those are the best.
You're always trying to cheat during this segment.
That's usually you. I
Yeah,
thought.
I know.
Okay, brats or hot dogs? I'll go with the brat. I like both.
I love both. I think I went through a period of time where I had too many brats, though.
Now, do you put sauerkraut on brats? I hate sauerkraut.
I love sauerkraut.
Okay, you do.
Yes.
Okay. I know I'm half German, so I should like sauerkraut, but I just don't like it.
And what is the gosh, this is going to be bad radio here for a second, but I cannot remember what is that spicy mustard stuff that clears out your nostrils. What do you call that stuff? Horseradish.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought you were talking like stadium mustard or something.
I was trying to get there, but
Grey
horseradish.
poupon.
Also, big fan on the brat. But I'm going to go, overall, I'm going to go hot dog over brat. Cam?
Okay.
Hot dog over brat. Give me mustard and onions on that.
Onions. All right. I'll do one, then we'll kick it to Camo. All right. We talked about this. We teased this earlier in the show. You guys getting with, they should give out the Heisman when they do right now, after the regular season. Keep it the way it is. Or are you getting with, they should give the Heisman out after the CFP is over?
I get that we're kind of changing so many traditions in college football, but I feel like that time, that week between after the conference championship games, you're just used to seeing that Saturday night Heisman Trophy ceremony. And to me, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it being a regular season award. Yeah. Give me. I'm okay with where it is right now.
I guess you talked me into it. I was going to say I'd prefer it after the season, but like now you're talking about, 4 playoff games, whereas every other sport does the MVP for the regular season. They don't wait, like the NBA, you don't wait till after the NBA finals to award the MVP. It's a regular season award. So I guess I was tempted to go switch it and do it after the season because we were talking about the Vince Young, Reggie Bush situation. Like if they waited till after the Rose Bowl that year, Vince Young would have won the Heisman, not Reggie Bush, because even in that game itself, as great as Reggie Bush was that season, Vince Young was also great. And then in that Texas versus USC, that unforgettable game, which running back really carried the load for USC in that game? Lendell White, and then Vince Young won the game. But if they would have waited that year, Vince Young would have had the Heisman. Reggie Bush, as you mentioned, he won it, then he lost it, and then he got it back. I'm glad he got his Heisman back. Okay, Scotty convinced me. We'll keep it the way it is. Cam?
So Scott or Dave, actually the NBA does it is still a regular season award, but they do announce it after the finals during the NBA awards.
Okay.
So I could see kind of doing something similar for the Heisman, where it's still a regular season award and include like the conference championship game, but I think it would be kind of a little bit better maybe just to have it announced after all the playoffs are done.
Real quick, did they always do it like that in the NBA? I thought I remember Jordan when they played the Suns.
That was like within the last 5 to 10 years, they've kind of changed it to after the end of the season.
When Barkley won the MVP in 92-93, and then the Suns ended up playing the Bulls in the finals, Jordan was like, come on, he had a great year. MVP, give me a break. And that was another thing that fired Jordan up, and the Bulls, of course, beat the Suns. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good. So you guys getting with being a two-way football player in the NFL or a two-way baseball player? Basically, you guys getting with being Travis Hunter or Shohei Ohtani?
I'm getting with Ohtani because the shelf life is much longer for a baseball player and you're making more money.
Yep, that's very, very well said. I kind of feel the exact same way. So, yeah, give me Ohtani.
I'm definitely probably going to go with Ohtani, probably a little bit more money, being a great pitcher and a great hitter, but it would be pretty cool to be a two-way cornerback receiver in the NFL.
And Cam, you had another great Ohio State football this or that, so let's get to that.
Yes, and so my other one was, you guys getting with being in person for a win over Michigan at home or away?
Ooh.
Definitely on the road. I've seen so many at home.
So I've done both.
I've only seen I think one on the road.
I was in Ann Arbor, and gosh, it was O'Korn was the quarterback.
And then the entire
Michigan.
all the Michigan fans clear out, and there's just about 20,000 Ohio State fans there with signs like thanks.
Yep. Yeah, and it was.
Thanks, Brady Hoke. Thanks, Rich Rod.
And it was cool and fun, but gosh, nothing for me will ever top being in the shoe when Curtis Samuel ran in the end zone.
The only walk-off touchdown in the history of the rivalry.
And that thing was just a party central. And then, it is fun to do it on the road. I agree with that. However, just that you see all the scarlet and gray, and then the celebration as you're leaving the stadium, a lot of yelling, a lot of excitement, just that feeling of walking out of a stadium, beating Michigan, that is fantastic either way, but I love it at the shoe.
I mean, in Ann Arbor, though, with their fans.
I get it.
Pouring out of the stadium, upsetting Ohio State fans, then are the only ones left, and the team comes over to the fans when that's that brick wall there at the big house. And anyway, I don't need to try and convince you. I say road, you say home.
And part of the reason for me maybe is because it was such a horrendous Michigan team that year. So it was like completely expected that Ohio State would go in there and win that game easily up there. And so maybe that plays a factor in it. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's partying with your people here in Columbus after a win that's special. What about you, Cam?
So I've only been to one Michigan-Ohio State game. It was on the road, actually the last win for the Buckeyes 6 years ago, or going on. Yeah, 6 years ago, when Justin Fields and those guys were able to win the game. And so the best thing about that was how quiet the stadium got later into the game, and then driving back, hearing Michigan Sports Talk Radio and the calls that were calling in, talking about shutting down the program. So I think that's what's the best thing about winning on the road.
So my buddy Steve Hellwagon always says the best part of going up there is that ride back after Ohio State beats Michigan. Like, was it down 23? I believe he said. Like that ride back is there's nothing like it. Stop at Frickers there in Bowling Green right off 75. Celebrate a little bit more a nice Buckeye victory over the Wolverines in Ann Arbor, which will happen this year. Final Saturday, is it November 30th this year? Somewhere around there, November 29th. Buckeyes are going to go up there and take care of business. All right. We all like breakfast sandwiches here. Cam usually makes me hungry because I'll walk in the morning on a Sunday and I'll have some breakfast sandwiches. We all like breakfast sandwiches, right?
Yes.
Correct?
Of course.
I think I've used this one before for this or that, but I think this was before Cam was our producer. All right. If you're getting a breakfast sandwich, now you can't go wrong either way, in my opinion. Are you getting what you want your breakfast sandwich to have an English muffin? Or are you getting with a biscuit?
Oh. See, I was going to go bagel if that was an option.
It's not an option. See, quit trying to cheat.
If I had to choose of the two, I'm probably taking the English muffin. However, nothing would be better than a bagel, a nice toasted bagel with egg and ham and melting cheese. Oh, sign me up for that one.
I do like a nice flaky biscuit with like a, chicken, like a nice piece of fried chicken on there. They're really, really, really good. But still, my go-to is that the original, like the McDonald's, the original, whether it's the McMuffin or the sausage McMuffin with egg. That's one I always preferred. There's something about that. I always preferred the English muffin, but I like both. I'm getting with English muffin.
Definitely English muffin. I always worry about a biscuit being too dry, just depending on where you get it. So definitely give me like a buttered toasted English muffin for a breakfast sandwich.
One more breakfast question for you guys to wrap up the segment here. All right. Eggs. By the way, we
over easy or scrambled. Is that where we're going?
Basically, yeah. But guess who now produces the most eggs in the country? Ohio.
Yeah.
We just passed
Let's
Iowa.
go.
It used to be Iowa, then Ohio. We just passed Iowa. Indiana produces a lot too, but Ohio produces the most eggs anywhere in the United States. Yes, you basically nailed it. You could go basically fried eggs or scrambled eggs. Now, because we're taking omelets out of the mix. That's like cheating because you can put like all kinds of great stuff in an omelet. That's cheating. All right. Typically, you going with a fried egg or you going with a scrambled egg?
So I do both, and I do both regularly. I also like hard-boiled eggs.
Okay.
I am going to go with, if I only for an entire week had to do one or the other, can I put ham in the scrambled egg, by the way?
You can put some ham in there.
Okay.
So I was going to allow you to put like a little bit of bacon and cheese is okay. That's not quite an omelet, is it?
No. Okay, so I usually like doing a little bit of ham and do ham and eggs. That's kind of a once.
You ham and egg it?
I like to ham and egg it. That's a once in a week kind of meal, breakfast meal for us, usually on a Saturday morning. So I'm going to go ham and eggs. Give me the scrambled style eggs.
Am I allowed to have toast?
You can have one slice of toast.
That changes the equation for me. If I can have toast, definitely sunny side up. I like dipping toast.
What kind of toast? Rye? Wheat?
I like
sourdough.
I just like the white Italian bread. Italiano is what it's called.
Yeah,
the Italiano bread. So, but I'm trying not to eat carbs too much. But I love, ever since I was a little kid, I love dipping the toast in the egg.
In a runny egg.
I like both of them, but I am getting with a fried egg. What about you, Cam?
Fried egg.
Does this count? Do we need to drink a mimosa now for laughing over the sound?
You know what's funny too is whenever I hear fried egg, I think of golf terms. A fried egg is a ball in the bunker where you have to it's buried, right, and you have to chop your way out of it. So that's what I think of as fried egg. But I'm going to go this scrambled style. But I'm a big egg guy. The more that we're talking about this, the more I want some eggs.
Well, you're in the right state.
Yeah.
We produce the most, as I just told you.
We also produce a lot of sports gamblers.
Yes.
Number 3 in the country as far as states in what they spend in sports gambling in a month.
And we're ahead of some states that have larger populations than us.
Like
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And I know Nevada has way less of a population than Ohio. Ohio actually has the 7th largest population in the United States. But it's still crazy that there's more sports gambling now in Ohio than in Vegas, all of Nevada. I mean, and it makes sense because of the population. Well, it's so crazy.
The only 2 states that have higher number of sports gamblers, at least in the month of March, were New York and New Jersey, and then it's Ohio.
It makes sense because, some of the massive states, you can't, there's not legalized sports betting. There's not legalized sports betting in California.
Texas.
There's not in Texas.
Florida.
So there you go. In Florida, that's exactly right. All right, up next is Best Bets. It's coming at you next on The Money.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. This month of May is a fantastic time to win at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Win a pair of tickets to the Memorial Tournament by visiting at Hollywood Columbus on social media and follow the steps for a chance to win. You've got a chance every Tuesday for second chance drawings. You can cash it on your losing wagers. 5 winners every Tuesday get $100 pen cash. Plus, all you can eat ribs Tuesdays and Thursdays in May, only at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook inside Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi there, I'm Ryan Reynolds, and like most actors, I have a list of things that I like to have on set. It's called a rider. It's just little things like wind chimes being blown by a easterly breeze, a 7-year-old calico cat to purr on my lap, and, of course, 2 freshly cracked eggs scrambled with crispy hash brown sausage crumble and creamy chipotle sauce from Tim Hortons. It smells amazing. Now, where did I put that hand-carved wooden spoon? From my rider to Tim's menu, try my new scrambled eggs loaded breakfast box.
Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall from my friends at Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. 2 years ago, I was actually experiencing hip pain for the first time in my life, and I knew I needed the best. So I chose Orthopedic One for my physical therapy needs. And in a matter of weeks, I was rotating that golf swing better than before, and I was the longest hitter in my group again. So be like me and trust Orthopedic One. Several convenient locations around Central Ohio. To find a physician or location near you, go to www.orthopedic1.com.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at The Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news, we fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on The Fan all season long. Yay, baseball.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. You know, May marks the start of rising temperatures, but you can beat the heat with Window Nation's semi-annual sale. Get 60% off and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. That's a whole lot of savings and a smart investment when prices are going up. Their windows also come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Hurry, the sale ends soon, so don't wait to get your estimate. Call them today, 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Hey Sports Cards fans, I'm Jeff with my buddy Adam, and we run Huggy Kissy Bear breaks on the Whatnot app. What's a card break? Simple. We open boxes of cards live, you pick your team, and we send you all the hits. With over 2,300 five-star reviews, we're all about you. New to card breaks? No sweat. We've got you covered with a sweet welcome package from us. Download the Whatnot app and follow us on Instagram and TikTok to view all of our past Sugar Bear hits. Huggy Kissy Bear breaks, where collectors win big.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle and Market District. Find everyday savings and bargains on produce, meat, and more. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting long-term lower prices. With our weekly sales, deals for days promotions, and My Perks loyalty program, Giant Eagle helps make the most out of every shopping trip. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle and Market District today to see how easy it is to save.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
D. Biddle's favorite kind of psychology is reverse psychology. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
What a fun couple hours it's been, and the fun continues. And we had a great question on the YouTube chat. If you could bring back one player from last year's Ohio State team, who would it be? I'm going to go Will Howard because of the experience, the leadership, all that stuff. To me, that's obvious. So I'm going to go Will Howard. You have a different answer.
Yes, I'm going to go with Tyleek Williams. And by the way, I didn't see, you just told me the question. I pulled up the chat. Nate actually said he'd either go with Will Howard or Tyleek Williams. So great minds think alike. Us too. Yeah, Tyleek Williams. Why? Because what's the biggest area of concern on the team? D tackle. Tyleek Williams was a first-round pick. You add those two things together, it'd be great having Tyleek back for one more year, although I'm thrilled for him that he's a first-round pick. I thought about Donovan Jackson, but I really like the offensive line. I thought about Emeka Egbuka, but I really like the wide receivers, so I will go with Tyleek Williams.
Time to make some people some money, and it is best bet time. Best bet, as we like to say. And for me, I'm going to the PGA Championship. I have been loading up all week, guys, on doing parlays that lead to 3 names winning the PGA Championship. I think it'll be one of these 3 guys, and I'm not even including Rory in this list. I think it's either going to be Scotty Scheffler, who I really, really am investing a lot of money in for next week. I think it could be Bryson DeChambeau, who has been playing great on the LIV Tour. He's a great major player, won the U.S. Open last year, was right in it at the Masters, and right in it at the PGA last year when Xander won. So I think it's either going to be Scotty, Bryson at 14-1, Scotty's 5-1, or a little bit deeper down the board, Justin Thomas. Get some JT money. He's 22-1, plays well at Quail Hollow, and also I think there's good value because he's coming in playing really well and actually in the hunt today. So those are my 3 bets for the PGA Championship. Those are my best bets. Dave, what are yours?
You mentioned earlier on ESPN Bet you can get Illinois to win the Big Ten at plus 6,000. Now, do I think Illinois is going to win the Big Ten? No, but they're going to be a good team, and they really only have, they have to play Ohio State in Champaign. That's obviously going to be a tough game for them. But overall, their Big Ten schedule very manageable. They were a top 20 team last year. They're bringing back a ton of guys. And I thought plus 35 on some other sites was a good value. Plus 3,500. Plus 6,000. So I can put $5 on that and win $300 if it happens. So I like long shot bets like that. You can just put a couple bucks on and maybe win a couple hundred. So I'll go with Illinois plus 6,000 to win the Big Ten. If you're wondering, Ohio State's odds are basically plus 200, just a little over that. They're plus 210 for Ohio State to win the Big Ten. Not a lot of value there. If I had to pick a team that's going to win the Big Ten, it's the Buckeyes, but if all things were being equal. But plus 6,000, I like that. All right, I know you have a question you want to ask me. I'm very curious about this.
So here is our question for the call-in show next hour, and we're going to open up the phone lines, 614-821-9710. We got a lot of prizes this morning, and what we're going to do is we are going to give out Reds tickets. We're going to give out tickets to the game this Thursday against the White Sox. And then we're also going to give away ESPN Bet dining certificates at the Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Oh, nice.
So we got a lot of prizes.
I'm going to call in then.
And the question, Dave, you don't even have to call in because we're going to get your answer right here, right now.
Ooh, I like this.
But those phone lines are opening up right now so you can get aboard there. And here's the question. Any job in the world of sports, you could have any single job. It could be a player. It could be a coach. It could be a general manager. It could be in the sports media world. It could be in any kind of sports capacity. What's the one job that you want?
Definitely GM of one of my favorite teams, and I will pick the Bengals because, with the revenue sharing and the salary cap, makes it a lot more tenable if you're a small market team to compete than in baseball, for example. Give me GM of the Bengals, and then you're saying you're going to work for Mike Brown. I know. But yeah, that would be, this is just a fictitious world we're living in anyway. So I'll pretend like the owner of the Bengals is not completely cheap and, out of touch with reality. So I'll go GM of the Bengals.
I think you'd be a solid GM. I think you would do a good job. So I will tell you, I'm going to spoil it right here at the end of this show. My number one job in all of sports would be to be Jim Nance. Just
be Jim Nance, yes.
The play-by-play guy for the number one play-by-play guy for football. He does golf throughout the year. To me, Jim Nance has the ultimate job in the world of sports.
I remember back in the day thinking, he used to do like the halftime of March Madness. That was like his thing.
Yeah.
He'd be at the desk by himself.
Yes.
Just like way back in the day, like during the NCAA tournament, I'm like, this guy's pretty good. Little did I know how good he was, but I like that.
But I love the fact that he's going to all these different PGA Tour stops as well, getting wined and dined.
Yeah, I would just, as frustrated as I am with my teams, I'd like to be in control of one of them at some point. That'll never happen, though. That is our show for today. Thank you very much for joining us. For Scotty and Cam Taylor, I am Dave Biddle. Up next is the Fan Call-In Show with Ryan Baker and Scotty. Give the boys a call at 614-821-9710. This is On the Money.
If you don't like listening to Morning Juice, Bobby Carpenter's man nipples will punch you in the face. For real.
You want to fight, do you? Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Open a money market account at Kemba Financial Credit Union and enjoy a 4.00% APY intro rate until April 2026, 6 times the national average. Maintain easy access to your funds and secure financial stability. Don't miss out. Offer expires July 31st, 2025. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Advantage status and $5,000 minimum and $1 million maximum deposit required. APY equals annual percentage yield. Comparison based on FDIC average. Federally insured by NCUA.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Hi there, I'm Ryan Reynolds, and like most actors, I have a list of things that I like to have on set. It's called a rider. It's just little things like wind chimes being blown by a easterly breeze, a 7-year-old calico cat to purr on my lap, and, of course, 2 freshly cracked eggs scrambled with crispy hash brown sausage crumble and creamy chipotle sauce from Tim Hortons. It smells amazing. Now, where did I put that hand-carved wooden spoon? From my rider to Tim's menu, try my new scrambled eggs loaded breakfast box.
Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yeah, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TOUR to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TOUR to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TOUR.